August 23, 1942. A city on the Volga turns into a battlefield unlike any before. Factories become fortresses. Streets become killing grounds. This is Stalingrad, where strategy meets survival, and the war in the east changes forever. The German advance reaches the Volga. Hitler demands the city bear his name. Stalin orders it held at all costs. The result is a clash of wills. Neither side yields. The first weeks are chaotic. The Luftwaffe bombards the city. Firestorms rage, buildings collapse. People flee or hide in basements. Soldiers fight amid the ruins. The riverbanks become a line of blood and smoke. Urban warfare begins. Tanks cannot move through narrow streets. Infantry must clear houses room by room. Snipers pick off officers. Supply lines are under constant attack. The front shrinks and stretches in a tangle of rubble. The Germans push into the city center. They seize factories. They take the train station. They reach the Mamaev-Kurgan Hill. Each gain is paid for with men and time. The Soviet defenses are battered, but not broken. Soviet troops fight ferociously. They use the ruins as weapons. They ambush. They counterattack with small, lethal groups. Women and civilians join the effort. Factories are converted to bunkers. Every building becomes a battlement. Commanders on both sides adapt. Paulus leads the German 6th Army. He believes in methodical progress. He struggles with logistics. Fuel and food become scarce. Winter looms. Hitler forbids retreat. On the Soviet side, commanders like Chukov master street fighting. He teaches his men to hold even a single house. He uses counterattacks to reclaim tiny islands of ground. He demands obedience and grit. He knows the city's fate is also the fate of the nation. By November, the front has become a grinding meat grinder. Casualties mount. Men fight in cellars and sewers. Medical help is minimal. Cold bites, hunger grows. Morale swings like a pendulum. Then the Red Army plans a decisive move. Operation Uranus. It is not aimed at Stalingrad itself. Instead, it targets the overextended Axis flanks. These flanks are thin. They are held by Romanian, Hungarian, and Italian units. They lack adequate equipment. They lack reserves. On November 19, 1942, the Soviet counteroffensive begins. Massive artillery falls. Tanks surge through weak points. Encirclement closes like a noose. The German 6th Army, trapped in the city, suddenly finds itself surrounded. The situation shifts in days. Supply drops. German airlift plans fail. Luftwaffe transports cannot deliver enough fuel, food, or ammunition. Weather and Soviet air defenses make the air bridge unreliable. Men starve. Guns fall silent for lack of shells. Paulus faces impossible choices. Hitler orders him to hold. Retreat is forbidden. The German High Command hopes for relief. A relief force tries to fight in, reaches within sight, but cannot break the ring. The 6th Army is isolated. Inside the pocket, soldiers freeze. Discipline frays. Disease spreads. Yet many fight on. They defend street by street. They cling to the hope of being rescued. Commanders issue desperate plans. None succeed. Soviet pressure continues. More offensives widen the gap. The encirclement pockets tighten. The Germans lose the initiative. The Red Army now dictates the tempo. By January, the trapped army is spent. Food rations dwindle to nothing. Men eat horses. Animals collapse. Bullets and shells are precious. Winter deepens the misery. On January 31, 1943, the German relief attempt fails decisively. The 6th Army is broken. Field Marshal Paulus, promoted in the midst of disaster, surrenders on February 2, 1943. The last organized German resistance in Stalingrad ends. The human cost is staggering. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers are killed, wounded, or captured. Civilians suffer millions of losses across the region. The city is a ruin. Monuments and homes are gone. A generation is scarred. Strategically, the defeat shatters the myth of German invincibility. The Wehrmacht loses its best formations. The Red Army gains confidence. The initiative moves to the Soviets. From this point, the Axis will largely fight on the defensive in the east. Stalingrad transforms the war's logic. It proves that industrial capacity, manpower, and political resolve can defeat tactical brilliance. It proves that urban warfare favors the defender when the attacker cannot secure supply and maneuver. The political impact is vast. Allied leaders take note. Soviet prestige rises. German morale plunges. Hitler's decisions are increasingly driven by ideology and ego. The German army's strategic flexibility is exhausted. The story of Stalingrad is also a story of ordinary people. Soldiers who refused to surrender, civilians who survived or perished. Factory workers who welded tanks by day and dug trenches by night. Their suffering underpins the strategic narrative. But there are unanswered questions. Could a different German strategy have avoided the trap? Could earlier relief efforts have succeeded? Counterfactuals are tempting. Yet the facts are clear. The Soviets achieved a decisive encirclement. The Germans suffered an irreversible loss. The legacy of Stalingrad is enormous. It marks the turning point on the Eastern Front. It shifts momentum. It redefines what victory will require in Europe. The fight for the Volga is won, but the war is far from over. The next great clash looms on the steppe. Massive armored formations will collide in a battle of attrition and engineering. In our next script, we will examine the greatest tank battle in history. We will ask which tactics decide victory when steel meets steel. Stay tuned.